I know this sounds weird, but walking home with groceries has made me question a lot about my old life in America. Because this is technically less convenient. You can only buy what you can carry. If it's hot, you feel it. If the kids are tired, you feel that too. And sometimes you're walking home thinking, man, this would be so much easier if I could just throw everything in the back of a car. But that's kind of the point, because since moving to Spain, I'm starting to realize that I used to think convenience used to give me more life because it saved me time. But now I'm realizing sometimes it actually just helped me avoid living it. One of the biggest differences I've noticed since moving my family to Spain isn't just the language, the food, the beautiful buildings, or the late dinners. It's really more of how much daily life happens outside. And I don't mean that in like a travel documentary type way. I mean that in a normal way, like groceries, walking to a cafe, taking the bus or tram, running errands, carrying bags, passing people in the neighborhood, saying buenas in the elevator, and seeing families, dogs, older people, kids, and everybody just moving through the city. And the funny thing is, a lot of this feels technically less convenient than how I used to live life in the US, but it feels more connected to life. Before moving to Spain, I used to think convenience to be something that was automatically good. Like if it was faster, it was better. If it saved me time, it was better. If I could do it from my phone, it was better. And I don't mean that in like a negative way, because especially with 3 kids, convenience it's an amazing thing. In the US, a lot of life was built around making things easier. Drive-throughs, curbside pickup, Costco runs, bulk deliveries, Amazon, and loading everything into the car and driving from one private space to the next private space. And at the time, that just felt normal. It felt efficient. It felt like being an adult, and it felt like you had your life together. But looking back now, it felt like a lot of my day was lived behind a windshield. But here in Valencia, our life is different. We still use delivery sometimes, so I'm not like acting like we live this slow romantic life. But most of the time we walk to the grocery stores, to the cafe, public transportation, any errands that we run. And the kids walk a lot more now. And all the errands that we run, it feels like it's all blended into the day instead of feeling like this separate mission where everybody is loaded up into the car. That changes things so much, because when you walk more, you notice more. You notice the same streets, the same trees, the cafes, the same older people sitting outside, the same dogs, and the same little moments that you would probably miss if you were just driving past them. The city stops becoming something you pass through, and it becomes something that you actually live inside of. And I don't want to over-romanticize this, because sometimes it's annoying. You know, walking in the middle of summer with heavy grocery bags is not ideal. Sometimes the kids are tired, or they need a piggyback ride. Or you realize you can't buy everything you want because you actually have to carry it home. You know, you have to think differently, and you have to plan what you can carry. Some stores are closed on Sunday, and errands can take longer. And when you're still learning Spanish, those simple things can take a little bit more mental energy. So no, I'm not saying Spain is perfect and inconvenience is this beautiful thing, because that wouldn't be true. But what I am saying is that some of the inconveniences here has actually made me more present. And I think that's a part that I didn't understand before, because I used to think that convenience mostly saved me time, but I didn't really ask what it was replacing. Because when everything is built to be easy, quick, efficient, you can get through your day without really being in your day. You can order that thing, drive to get that thing, have it delivered to you really quickly, check it off the list, and be done with it. And sometimes that feels great. But also sometimes that can feel really limiting, and it feels like it starts to shrink your life a little bit. You move less, notice less, interact less, and you're spending more time in your private space. And it can be so easy to get into the mindset that freedom is not needing anything from the world around you. And Spain has made me question that, because here, you know, some of the friction actually puts me back into the world. And as a dad, that part really matters a lot. Like my kids are walking a lot more here. We're using public transportation. They're learning to navigate the city, right? And they're learning to move through the world instead of just being driven from one place to the next. And I think that part really matters a lot because back in the US, a lot of our family life happened in the car. You know, we would drive them to school, you would drive to errands, drive to the stores, drive back home. I mean, even here, simple errands feel more shared with the city. We're walking together, noticing things together, dealing with the heat together. We're carrying stuff together, and we're part of the city together. And again, it's not always easier, but I do feel like my kids are experiencing a lot more of the world around them. And just to be clear, I'm not anti-convenience. You know, I've got 3 kids. I like convenience. I still like deliveries, I still like things being easy, and you know, there are still things that I miss in the US sometimes. And there are definitely moments where I'm walking home with groceries in the middle of August and thinking to myself like, yes, having a car would be pretty nice right now. So I'm not saying that convenience is bad. I just don't think that it always makes life better. You know, sometimes it does save time, but I think a lot of times it does remove the exact parts that actually, you know, make you feel connected to the world around you. The walking, the waiting, the noticing, you know, those small interactions, and the feeling that your neighborhood is not just where your house is, but somewhere that you actually live. So I think that's what Spain has changed for me. It hasn't made me hate convenience, it's just made me question whether convenience was always giving me what I thought it was giving me. Because before moving to Spain, I thought convenience meant saving time and being more efficient. And sometimes it does. But now I'm realizing that if life gets too convenient, you start missing those little moments that actually make daily life feel alive. I used to think convenience gave me more life because it saved me time. But now I'm realizing sometimes it just helped me avoid actually living it. I'm gonna keep making videos about Spain through American eyes, family life abroad, and all the things that we're still learning here in Valencia. So if this resonated with you and if you enjoyed it, subscribe and like. I'm wondering if you felt this way too, especially if you lived in a more car-dependent place and then moved to somewhere more walkable. Do you think convenience actually makes life better? Or do you think some inconvenience actually makes life feel more real?